Welcome to another Friday night. This is On Fire Family, and this is Happy Hour. Cheers.
Cheers. I don't know if you can hear that, but it's really windy, and so our dock lines are super loud. So
Which is why we're in the salon too. We're not out in the cockpit with
the air conditioning.
Beautiful table.
But it's not weird sounds. It's our ropes.
And hey, we wanted to give a shout out to my brother Sean. When we arrived, he sent my parents with a whole box of bourbons for us to get us stocked here on the boat. And so we have New Riff bourbon this evening, courtesy of my brother, and
Delicious.
we just thank him for that care package. So we didn't have to provision bourbon when we first arrived on our boat. So we were well stocked. So thank you, Sean.
Yeah.
So this week, we arrived in Chicago a week ago, and we have been here a little bit doing some boat jobs, but a lot of actually what we want to do on the Great Loop, which is being tourists and touring around and exposing our kids to a bunch of stuff and having fun. And so,
But the first 2 days was boat job days.
yeah, and that was right on the heels of what we talked about last time, which was yacht delivery, breakneck speed, 8 locks in 4 days, just getting the boat moved from St. Louis to Chicago. And so we were ready for a rest, but yacht buffing and waxing is in high demand. And so we got what we got, which was the Captain Jeremy left at 6 in the morning, and the guy showed up at like 8 to start.
I'd had him booked for
working.
that day for a week or two, and so it's like, well, yeah, we gotta book it. 1, so that Captain Jeremy can leave and do another delivery, and 2, I have this guy booked, and he only has 2 days.
Yeah, so it worked out great, but we could have used a downtime day in between.
So shout out to Carl Rock and
his wife Connie, who was awesome, came and hung out and talked to us, and we learned all kinds of things about Chicago and all kinds of things.
and Dominica, where Carl's from.
Yeah, and so he did great work buffing and waxing the boat on kind of short notice. Our plans fell through, as maybe you heard in the previous video, of having it done in St. Louis before we arrived, and so we were a little bit under the gun. We just the boat's been stored and a little bit mangy and needed to be.
We pulled in the day before. I mean, I was like, it's not that dirty, and then I pulled in next to this gorgeous yacht, and I was like, we're on a raft. We're on Huckleberry Finn's raft. This thing is. But then after Carl came, I looked gorgeous. Yeah.
And now we just need to maintain it. So and he educated us along the way, which is really awesome. So I spent a lot of time working with him, and
so we kind of got a rest day because we don't usually hire people to work for us, and so it was nice.
Yeah.
But
and then it was a weird rest day because there were things going on in the marina. Like, it was crazy weekend time where boats were going by like crazy out here, and fireworks and concerts, and like, it was a crazy day to be down here.
Our first night was awesome. We just hung out in the bow, and we had like the Chicago skyline, and then there were fireworks at Navy Pier, and there was a concert across the harbor that we could hear perfectly well, and it was very cool, just the 4 of us hanging out there. Earlier in the day, we found out that while our Amazon packages made it to the marina, our United Postal Service mail did not. They, I guess, are having a problem, and so they delivered across the harbor to the yacht club, and so Seth dinging me over there, and they were very happy to see me since they were getting my random packages.
Yeah, but figuring that out was a whole deal.
Yeah, my mom had to go to the post office and be like, "Where's the mail I sent my daughter?"
Yeah, and there was some important mail because we've been gone a month now, and so there were some like checks that we needed and some other things. So glad we got it all sorted out. These ladies did a lot of hard work to figure out the mystery.
Apparently, we figured out a problem that they had because there was communications between the two, and apparently communications with the post office, and so we solved their problem. They're like, "Why do we have all this mail?" So, we connected them.
So second day in Chicago, more buffing and waxing. Carl came back and got an early start, hoping to beat like some of the wakes because it's a very popular marina here. And so we got an early start. We got provisioned the boat. So
yes, we had a successful grocery delivery.
Yeah, so we'd intended to get an Uber and go provision the boat ourselves. We've never really used Instacart or any kind of delivery service, but this seemed like the perfect application for it, and it saved us 2 Uber rides, and we got everything delivered successfully to the dock. So thumbs up there. We had visitors.
Yes, my cousin showed up from Indianapolis about noon. So Cambria, Brandon, and then their kids Sawyer and Magnolia, so sweet. And we haven't seen them in 5 years since they lived in Portland. And so we just went out to the Boat Drinks. That's the name of the bar restaurant. And so we could sit outside, all 8 of us, and just chill and order barbecue and beers, and it was a great time.
Yeah, good to see family.
Yeah.
Like, it's only been a week since we have seen my parents, but it just was a welcomed, I think, thing for the whole family to see friendly faces.
Yeah, we just went for a relaxing walk and had some ice creams and just hung out.
Yeah. And then the 4th of July in Chicago. Something we've been looking forward to for, like, the whole dreaming phase of this trip.
Which was funny because their celebration was on the 2 nights before that we saw the fireworks. And then they had fireworks 2 days after on the 2nd and the 6th. And so what we heard were a lot of personal fireworks.
Yeah.
Like all
long. Over the place.
Yeah.
Yeah. Little ones here and there.
But that day we got the City Pass where you go to 5 attractions.
Yeah.
And so we went to our first attraction, the Shed Aquarium, where we are like a 15-minute walk from 3 very awesome attractions. And the first one we hit was the Shed Aquarium, and it was cool. Like the historic buildings that their museums are in, like we just don't have that on the West Coast. Yeah. And they had a dolphin show indoors, and there was beluga whales indoors, and I've never seen so many fish.
Yeah.
From different regions of the world.
Yeah, and very well done, and the quality of the architecture of the museums, just incredible.
Yeah.
And highly recommend that City Pass. It saved us, half off basically. Mm-hmm. We were going to go to all these museums anyway, and it was like a totally sweet deal. So.
And we're still not done, but there was an incident while we're gone. A bigger boat was coming in, and they needed to move our boat. So
we were on the T head at the very end of a dock, and the bigger boat needed more space, and so they moved our boat actually while we were gone, and they just called to let us know, I guess, which is, I think this is a very highly unusual and maybe not good practice, but
they forgot to disconnect the freshwater hose, and so they shredded it, and then it popped off one of the protectors of the dinghy davits, the Teflon protectors, and so Seth had to order a new freshwater hose and Teflon, and so we got some free nights out of it, which was good because we have to extend our stay in Chicago for high wind and waves, and so we got those for free.
Yeah, but anyway, lesson learned too about positioning on the dock and how long our 50 amp power cord needs to stretch and other things. So I think lesson learned all around. We also learned some things about our boat. It really is only happy with 240 volts, which is 2 legs of 120. But if you are cheapskates and you run 3-phase 208, then marinas, then our boat's not happy. Like the air conditioners,
it only got up to 208,
like
so we can only run the cockpit air conditioner on that, not the indoor air conditioners.
Right. So like 70 degrees, no problem. Yeah. We're tough. We can handle it. But 100 degrees on the 4th of July without AC, when we run the generator, we can fire everything up, and it's just fine. Yeah. And so we did that and cooled the boat down, and everything was good. So learned some stuff, and no biggie. Mm-hmm. But then we've been like totally touristing around. So we did the Science and Industry Museum.
Well, first we took the kids on a dinghy ride, and Mason took a swim.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the next day we went to the Museum of Science and Industry, which I went to when I was 13, and I built it up in my head this whole time, and it did not disappoint. It was amazing.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I don't need to see the submarine. We have a submarine at home in our science museum. No, this was a German submarine that they captured and brought to Chicago, and it has this incredible indoor facility, and the whole exhibit up to it is amazing. And then there was a traveling Lego exhibit the kids were super excited about, and then all the just so many other, the weather exhibit, the Tesla coil, like
all of it, amazing. All amazing. Yeah. And then
that night we watched Ferris Bueller's Day Off just because it has a lot of Chicago scenery in it, and so that was pretty cool.
Yeah. And at this point, I'm kind of museumed out. Like, there's only so much museum we can take back to back to back, but we kept pushing on.
Yeah, the next day.
Yeah, because, you know,
we had the City Pass.
Yeah, we got the City Pass, so we got all these museums lined up. So we went to the Field Museum, Natural History Museum, which was cool. Like, to see the T-Rex, like the largest, most complete T-Rex was really, really neat.
She was really... And the rest of it is good. It's just collections. And then after being at the Science Museum the day before was not as cool, but if you like natural history, it's cool. But it was a lot.
So much. Yeah,
I called it like the huge dead zoo. There was like so many stuffed animals, I guess, but taxidermy. Yeah. Like rooms of birds and rooms of plants and rooms of reptiles and just a lot. But they had a really cool Africa exhibit and ancient Egypt exhibit. The first exhibit we saw was really cool. You go underground and they shrink you so you can see all the stuff underground. Yeah. That was cool.
And then one of my bucket list items was going to Buddy Guy's Legends Blues Club. I'm a big Buddy Guy and blues fan, and so to be able to just walk from there right on over, and with the kids, they can only get in before a certain time, like 9 o'clock. So we went early, and we saw a band playing, and got to eat dinner there, and just, you know, kind of sacred ground here in Chicago.
I dressed in polka dots for Buddy Guy, but he wasn't there.
Yeah, it was cool. It was very cool. Yeah. A nice walk home from that, and just a really good experience, good day.
Yeah, and then more fireworks.
And more fireworks.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
And then the next day,
more museum, because we can't get enough.
So we're right near the aquarium, the Field Museum, and the planetarium. So then we went to Adler Planetarium, and it's also in an amazing historic building. And the exhibits aren't met, but the shows are really good, and narrated really well. And I can get a little. I don't get boat sick, but I can get vertigo from things moving. But I thought it was really well done.
Yeah, and again, another like high focus on architecture and quality of the building. It was just incredible, like really well done.
And then we had a rest day and a date day.
Yeah, so today the kids were just kind of like, that's it, no more museums. We were going to go to the art museum. No. And the weather's been, you know, like we said, kind of rainy and windy. And so we needed to do some business at the post office. So we took an Uber into town. We went to the post office. We did some of the river walk.
2 of us.
Yeah, just
the
two
river
of us.
walk. Oh my gosh.
And just had some beers along there.
It's just like restaurant. Yeah. And then all of the tour boats. Like the tour boats, it's not just Portland Boat Tours like Seth given. It's just so many. Yeah. And so we just sat there and had drinks
and we strolled back, even though the weather was like not ideal, but
no,
it was fine, and we got to walk along Lake Michigan and get back to the boat. So we got another few days here. We had intended to leave like today. But I'm glad we didn't, because we got more museums. Yay!
There's still
more. And there's more stuff to do. So we're gonna stay through the weekend, and we'll probably leave on Monday. And so a few more days in Chicago. Then our plan is to head up the east coast of Lake Michigan, and we're gonna meet up with my brother wherever we happen to be when his schedule aligns, and then keep kind of trucking on up, and we'll see where we end up. But thank you for joining us for another happy hour. This is what we want to be doing on our Great Loop, and it's awesome to be finally doing it and sharing it with you. So thank you so much for joining. Cheers.
Cheers.